Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of Black Man Sketch. This is season 5, and this is your host, Wes. And here with me I have...
Julio Ortiz Labrador.
Sensae the Wella.
How you brothers doing today?
Doing good. Getting stuff, ready to go on this little vacay. May 8th, I'll be going to Topeka, Kansas. Go see my family and stuff, some friends. So I'm happy about that, But besides that, I've been working, doing cashiering, and it's been, living life.
Isn't that cash register just fun?
Some days it's not, to be honest, But that's where they got me, so I'm stuck with it. But it's cool. I'm not really tripping on it. It helps me do something different because I ain't never been a cash register.
Hey, learn something new every day. Everything's a learning experience.
Man, everything been fantastic for it's a beautiful journey being alive, on this here adventure on Earth, every day more gratitude and stuff. And being at BIHAC, being at Ujamaa Place, being at all the different circles at Indigenous Roots, I'm starting to feel the love that's in the Twin Cities area,
And today I actually went paddle boating. Well, not paddle boating, canoeing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was that.
Y'all went canoeing?
They did.
Yeah, we went to canoeing today. It was just me and Erica, and then the 2 trainers. So we had me and Erica was in the back of each one of them, and then trainers were in the front giving us how to do the directions. There's like a C stroke is where you move the canoe kind of left or right, whatever you're paddling, C stroke, and then a 45-degree angle is for a sharp turn, I guess. So, and then if you back pedal it, then it hits the brakes. If you back pedal it, you hit the brakes, and then yeah. So I learned a couple things, for canoeing.
I love it, being out in nature, connecting more with your roots. Very high vibrational. I love it. We're going to take a quick commercial break right quick. We'll be back after these messages. Ujamaa is a Swahili word meaning extended family. At Ujamaa Place, we're taught to be our brother's keeper.
Basic needs services such as housing, employment, education, mental health and wellness, and criminal justice advocacy support our transformation.
Regardless of how society treats us, Ujamaa Place teaches us to love ourselves.
At Ujamaa Place, we turn our pride into gratitude. Join us at our information sessions every Wednesday at 10 a.m. To learn more, go to ujamaaplace.org. That's UJAMAA place.org.
This podcast is recorded at and produced by OMG Studios in St. Paul, Minnesota. If you're a podcaster looking to record in a professional studio with top-of-the-line equipment and tech, check out OMG Studios. You don't even have to be in Minnesota. You can record from anywhere. Your message is important, and your listeners should hear it loud and clear. Visit omgmediasolutions.com/reserve to learn about rates and scheduling.
And we're here with our special guest, the Ujamaa Training Wellness Coach,
Julius Yancey.
Man, is that all you got for us? As a matter of fact, we're going to try that again. We're here with our special guest, the Ujamaa Wellness Training Coach, Julius Yancey. Come on, man.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for having me here on your podcast for this evening. What's the discussion?
You're the discussion, buddy.
We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yep. So, basically, I want to ask you, where are you from, and what led you doing what you do right now?
I'm originally from the South. I'm thinking really out of Arkansas / Tennessee. What got me started in fitness was really I was a young guy who was trying to learn how to defend himself. Okay. I grew up in a pretty rough environment, so everyone around me was kind of physically fit, and when they had, most of them had went and did time, so when they come home, you would see these guys would be much bigger, and they just kept the routine up when they came home.
That's good.
So what did that lead you to start doing? Did you like start working out in the park, doing pull-ups and sit-ups, or like were you already able to get some weights?
No, these guys I was around, they had they was in the projects, and they would kind of like do calisthenics workouts during the day, and you know, pretty much when I got introduced to weights, I think they had most of the older guys had broken into some store and stole a lot of weights and brought them to the projects and set them in the middle and the back of the project, and everybody started lifting weights, and that's how we ended up with sets of weights.
That's an exercise in itself, breaking in and robbing some weights, and then you got to run away with a weight, man. That's a cool
That
body.
was a weird one, yeah.
Hey, it did something for the community, right?
Righteous.
How old were you when you started doing that, when you started getting into that?
Probably had to been about 13, 12 years old. Most of the people that were older than me, I was running with at the time, but I was I couldn't. I stayed around the corner from the project, so everybody that was near the project was basically a project person, as you would say.
Hey, but the type of workouts y'all was doing, you know what I mean? It's the type of stuff we could do, you know, we can kind of do at home. Like, what kind of workouts was you doing at that time?
Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, things of that nature. I didn't know anything about lower extremity training, so except for running, we would be running, racing each other, you know, every day running probably about, you know, no telling, a mile or so, just running every day in the project, just playing, you know, just running from each other, hitting each other, running from each other, just running from the cops.
Yo, that's real. What was it exactly that brought you to Minnesota?
Basically training. I looked up a city, I looked up a state that was more involved with health and fitness and healthcare. And within the top 3 I chose, this was number 1. And so I decided to journey this way and give myself a fair chance, because no one knew me. And plus it was an open market. And at the time, I think when I moved here, it was during a housing crisis. And Minnesota wasn't doing it as bad as most states during that time. I think it was like 212.
You know, I just thought about it. You know, my grandmama, she was raised in Arkansas. She used to speak Creole and Gullah and other stuff like that. And then my dad used to always tell me that he not understand what his mom was talking. So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, a lot of that language from down there, people didn't realize it was. They weren't ever taught to speak proper. Most of the people that didn't have an education because they had to work. And secondly, you know, it depends what age group you come out of. You never learn to speak proper because you never want nobody to know what you were saying. So when rap went over, rap was a part of that as well. That's why they slur the words and use a lot of slang. So the overseers wouldn't understand what you were saying. So it just kind of translated over to rap. And today it's in the same world. People hear the music, they would know the words, but they don't know the meaning of the words. Most of them would be rapping. Yeah.
So, what do you do now for today as in training? Like, what's your concept of training nowadays instead of back in the day, you know, when you used to lift weights in the backyard or something? What's different now, you know, in the training?
Thank you for that. I understand the importance of form, technique. Anyone can create their own style, but you're still going to stay with the same format, you know, as far as form and technique. And that's what I learned today on not how to prevent injury more than just lifting weights. And, you know, I went through that phase. And then once you start and get into physical fitness, you'll get past, I want to get big, I want to be strong. You know, you'll go into that, okay, this makes a difference. I have a heart rate here, and I have cholesterol levels that I would like to, you know, bring down. And then you'll get to learn about your cardiovascular, you know, muscles need endurance just like if you were running, just like your lungs had to have endurance.
Yeah.
So I came a lot more understanding with how the body works and what it takes to perform.
Okay.
When did you get connected with Miss Monique?
Well, I met her, I think it was, I don't know the exact year I met her, because I had been around her and didn't know who she was, and we was both working in a proximity of in another environment. And once that job, that detail was over with, I was looking for another occupation, and we ended up uniting again because she'd seen me prior in my career with in another job, so we linked up, and then from there we went forward, and she just said, "Come on, Jules, let's do this over here." And I like that you know fitness, and I think you should take this and help a lot of other young men with it. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm up for the job, but if you think it's if it can benefit, which I know it would, I said, yeah, I look forward to it. I would love to do it, and so that's how we united on this platform.
Praise God. So you're here, you're the Ujamaa Wellness Training Coach. How does it feel, to have young men like us? Because I've worked out with you before. How does it feel to have us under your tutelage for those times?
It's inspiring because I see a lot of spunk and admiration in you guys. Just that you all have a trainer. I didn't. Not only physical training, but a person went through some mental challenges that I feel that you all probably end up facing. So I call myself preparing you for that and learn how to alleviate stress, to take that same energy of anger or hostility and put it towards yourself and build yourself, because that same energy that is used that's negative can be placed back into yourself and be positive. And in a few matter of months, you'll notice the difference. And I figure the more angry you are, the faster it will become to build your body.
Yeah.
Yes. Motivation.
What are a couple workouts in your curriculum you like teaching brothers?
Specifically lunges. Lunges will last you from till the time you get on, till you leave this earth. You can't cheat those, and once you learn those and you do those correctly, they'll last you a lifetime, just like riding a bicycle. Yes.
Yeah, I like working out and stuff. I like just doing push-ups, sit-ups, and burpees, basically. But
yeah.
Those are what I usually do for my exercises on a daily basis. But I used to have weights at my grandmother's house. They still have weights over there. My grandpa has a full set of weights because he used to wrestle in high school. So he has a whole bunch of weights. He had a whole bunch of medals and stuff. He still lifts weights. And I'm about to actually go visit, so I'm about to see his little gym again. He actually painted the floor and made the basement look a little better. So can't wait to see his little gym now that he got,
Yeah, if I was to be correct and honest with you and sincere, I learned that I was incarcerated before. So I had to be observative because I wasn't in any environment that I knew or knew anyone in it. So, and I realized when I got there, this place I was incarcerated in, it was full of older guys. They were probably, most of these guys have been locked up since the 70s and 80s. And I was in the end of the 90s. And all of them were physically fit. Like, I wouldn't have thought no one in there was older than 50. And half the population was probably 60, 70 years old. They were monsters, physically. No weights, straight calisthenics. And I just was like, how is this possible? Because, I thought by the time you get 60, you should be looking forward to dying. If you had lived a life that wasn't in the streets, not knowing how your food intake was or your diet.
Question. So that was going to be my next question. So what do you think is better, calisthenics or weights?
Honestly, calisthenics. In all its form and fashion, because You can build a body without weights. Weights is just like steroids, a faster process. You have to really you have to get a physical first and foremost, so you can understand what your body, the stresses and what it can take and what it can't take. You know, your heart is involved in that too, so a checkup, would be, formal. I would want to have a physical before we started something like that, more or less. But calisthenics is the way to start because it strengthens the joints, the ligaments and tendons before the muscles even become activated and start using weights. More people, when you see them go to a gym or an environment in a gym, they don't know what they're doing, and the trainers aren't really trained to teach them calisthenics, which they would need to know prior to lifting weights, because if you can't balance yourself, there's no use in picking up a weight.
Yeah, you're right.
Injury
yeah.
is prone.
Makes sense. I want to say, it's very interesting here you talk about lifting weights and building your body. It's like an art form, and then, your body is what you're building. How you say you have different styles, and, you understand the baseline, form, right? You know what I'm saying?
Technique and form.
Yeah, you get the technique and the form together, and then, it's a lot. You make it sound very fun, like you can do all this kind of stuff, like you're customizing yourself to your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Not just like, I feel like some people they hear about, like, oh man, that's gonna be a lot of hard work, But I like the the positivity light you put on it when you talk about it. It just made me want to go do some push-ups right now or something.
It is an art. It is an art, and it's a habit forming. It's habit forming as well. It's probably the greatest habits you can have, I would imagine, because your muscles they're gonna have to fire and be used your entire life. Even if you're doing cardio, it's still not gonna help your muscles. You have to build muscles. You have to have muscle movement, and therefore, it's just something constant that's going to be physical throughout your entire life. And it's also an age, it curves age. Most people you study today who's been working out, since the 80s now, which science they didn't have science on like they do today. It proves it curves all diseases. It adds longevity to your life. When you're 90, 80 years old, like I said, those guys were running sprints and lifting 400-500 pounds, and I've never saw nothing like it. Then I realized it wasn't about the food, because they didn't have good food. Nutrition, it was out, because you got to take what they serve, basically. So it was in the performance of the calisthenics, which was building the bodies of those men, and the mentality to do that.
No, that's real, and made me think about how, so my mom, she's from Nigeria, and I lived out there for some time, and I would see very old people, right, that be, doing like the brick lifting jobs, or carrying the banana
looking
trees
great.
and stuff, and they looking just doomed, like what, like, you know what I'm saying, like they get beat up, you know what I'm saying, the youths in my neighborhood, like the 20-year-olds and them, and in the 80s, like you said, that you know what I'm saying, you don't use it, you're gonna lose it type
Exactly.
of thing,
Exactly. And it helps for the mind, stimulation of the mind. It helps the brain tremendously to do so. I wish I could get more in depth, but we probably don't have time for that. But yeah, it's more mental. A lot of, like in today's society, I say at least the 2000s, starting in 2000 back, women have become more involved with physical fitness, which helped them as well.
And I've seen that, I've seen that lately, that women have been getting better at exercising with themselves, because they want a good body, you know what I mean?
They understand longevity.
Yeah, so that's good now,
Yeah. And not only that, you had bands and other techniques, slam balls, weighted balls, Bosu balls. Those things are what you train on for as well, young people, before weights. I wouldn't necessarily put an individual on weights until at least about 16 to 18. Depends on the development of the body. But quickness is everything. You can start that from the ages of 5 on up to the rest of your life, because quickness requires training as well.
I haven't heard much about training for quickness. What's a drill that you can do to get quicker?
Same thing like all calisthenics for children supposed to be doing. Yeah.
You ever heard of Cali Muscle?
Yeah, I saw him before. That was an act. That was all an act for the internet.
All right. Well, like I watched a couple of his videos, right? And one thing he said is that it's not about, and talk about weightlifting, of course. It ain't about how big or heavy the weight is you lifting, but how many reps you do. That's how you get big. Is that true?
According to the type of muscle you have, we have, I think it's 3 different muscle types I can recall from my studies. And the more reps you do, that's how you cut weight. If you have no weight to cut, fat to cut, then you can only build muscle. You have to come up with a number that is sustained, which your body can, I guess you say, manipulate to where you can have gains and get shredded at the same time. It's not as difficult as what people make it seem to be, because there's only arms, legs, the front torso, and the back. Yeah. So it's like, it's very simple, you know. And when you look at it from that point of view, you know, I like to do everything from 8 to 10 sets, and my reps will be typically high because most of my clients, I'm building them for performance opposed to looks. Everyone wants to be physically fit, not looking physically fit.
What kind of routine and diet do you suggest a person just starting out into that type of fitness lifestyle? Not me, but just to a newbie.
Of course not. You look wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
No, but I would recommend to, it depends what body type. It goes back to body type again. But to start out, I would, you know, really surely teach push-ups, jumping jacks, back arms, and of course abs. And we would probably sometimes throw a little cardio in there by jogging in the spot. Yes.
Sounds pretty much what I do at home anyways, pretty much.
And those same things you'll do, if you maintain that to you're 80 to 100 years old, you'll keep the same body. And you will be physically fit. And you'll be able to play with your great-great-grandkids, not your grandkids, your great-grandkids. And that's the same thing we was talking about. You know, you're watching the elders around you growing up, same way they were never cancer, heart disease, and they could always move, run, and move about because it was understood movement is the key to life.
And I love that you talked about that it's being spoken about, the mental wellness that come with it, of having that routine. You know, that's when I really started doing calisthenics for real. I think maybe when I was like younger, when I was like 16 or something, I saw some other people big, and I was like, oh, let me get some little something in case I gotta, you know, scuffle with them. But more lately, like in the last like I would say over a year or two, I've been feeling like, oh dang, this stuff actually make when my mind is racing, when a lot is going on and there's a lot in the world, I just feel like, okay, dang, actually when I do this thing, when I do like a good workout, like a pretty good one, not like I'm, you know, training for a fight, but, you know, just like a decent, you know, a little something, some stretch, some push-ups, some sit-ups. And then after that, I sit down like, wait, nothing on my mind. You can't think about nothing. What can you think about when you're doing a push-up and your sweat coming from your face? You know what I'm saying? No, that's occupying your full mental, you know, frame. So, yeah, that's a beautiful gym.
It helped me. The guys who taught me gave me something that I didn't know that I would use for the rest of my life. And like I said, when I become incarcerated, I had to figure out a way to fit in to the world I was involved with, because I wasn't going to join gangs. I wasn't involved really into religion. I wasn't into watching a lot of television. I wasn't into music. I had got into reading, you know, because I was studying law, and occasionally I would read other things just to unscramble my brain from law. But it gave me the balance I needed to cope with a lot of, you know, things people would bring to you as far as problems, you know, institutional problems, family problems, things I had children at the time I couldn't deal with, I couldn't talk with, I couldn't raise. At the same time, I was trying to say, how can I keep myself up to par so when I get home I can still manage and take care of myself. And in the event, like I said, it taught me a lot, and that's why I'm trying to pass it on, because you don't have to wait till you get locked up or go through an illness before you recognize that your health is the most important thing you can own, that you can control, that you can also, build. Not to add that that appearance is something you express into the world. This is who you are. If you care about yourself, look at you guys. You guys in good shape. I can look at you, all of you. None of you with all of you look spry. It's not like, looking at some guys that just, overweight or just, I can see you have form and character. And it comes from working out and from training. And now, if you don't do that, what you gonna do? Right, gotta love yourself.
Yes, sir. We need to bring it. I'm so happy that you're doing this work and bringing that to the community, because I feel like, talking definitely break down a lot of stuff. A lot of things, I feel that there are things that require complex communication for it. But I feel that sometimes people treat talking like it's gonna fix everything, But, from me I studied Tai Chi,
Mm-hmm.
and learning about that, a lot of stress and problems live in your body. And you can't talk it out. You have to move it, you have to shake it, you gotta, really get it out, in a real way. So that's a beautiful thing. I love to see that in the community. I feel like it should be there more. Shout out to Ujamaa Place for, bringing it.
I want to give a shout out to Ujamaa Place as well for allowing me to come and be a part of the program or the organization to help young men. I didn't have that. That's why I so strongly want to do it and give more and more and more of it. Like I said, because if I would have known this, I wouldn't have went down the road I went. And I could have seen a better way, opposed when I got there and seen something different, had to learn from that perspective.
Well, at Ujamaa Place, in the Ujamaa community, you're very much valued and appreciated. The brothers that work out for you, they're happy to do so. They be in the lobby room waiting, you know what I mean? I'm about to go to the gym. I'm waiting for Julius. I see them. You know what I mean? So glad to have you. We appreciate you.
Can I add to that? I got time. Another thing I learned from being in Minnesota, from training, is that no matter what gym you go to, or we go to, you know what you're doing. You don't have to have no help. You won't need a trainer. In fact, they may ask you, "What can you help them?" But I said to say this, just like no matter what prison I went to, if a set of weights was there, I could go out and I can alleviate my stress, and I know how to take care of myself. And out here, you can pick any gym you want to go to, and it's always positive people there. Always a number of positive people. You can't never go there and not see a lot of positive things there and get involved in that community. And like I said, you don't need anyone but a set of weights. And your day, that can turn into a club day or a work day or just a stress-free day. But it's always, you can always go in and change your day. I can, or anyone else can, in a gym. Just pick your good one.
There y'all got it right there.
Shout out to the Y.
Yeah.
For putting up with us.
That's always a good thing.
All right.
Well, hopefully I can get through the whole sentence.
Wait, hold on, whoa. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. Go
Don't.
ahead.
One thing about Ujamaa, we're all about educating the community and educating the brothers, and this has been definitely an educational experience. So anything you want to add on the wellness side, like I said, what it can do for a person, you know what I mean? Like how it could help a person's mental state, how it could, add that confidence and that discipline. Add a little more on that.
Well, it takes discipline first and foremost to work out, to even begin the thought of going toward a gym or going to in your room to do this for yourself. it requires a lot of discipline. And once you start learning, once you start just performing, then you'll catch on to take a little more discipline. Maybe I should take this out of my diet. Maybe I should start drinking Cokes. Maybe I should take out, a lot of these fatty foods, or a lot of this doughy, a lot of this pasta-like things, doughy bread items. And another thing is that, you learn to see what other people know about training.
Well, appreciate having you here and stuff, and thank you for, explaining your history on exercising, where you came from, and how you got all up into it, So, and I thank Ujamaa Place for having you, and you liking, the program and stuff. That's always good, because I came here and I really love it too. Like, they helped me out so much, Without them, I'll still be in my hood probably.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming out here and blessing us with the gems and making me feel like going to 100 push-ups. I need to have a workout sesh in one of your classes, or have it
Most
done.
down.
Yeah, and another shout out to Ujamaa Place, So yeah, one love.
And why don't you let the people know where we can? Why don't you let the people know where and when we can find you at, so they can join in on some of these workout sessions?
Thank you. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 to 3:30. It depends, who comes, who shows up. Anytime between that time is wonderful for me. And like I said, we're over to Y. They allowed us, I think they have a partnership, which is giving us an opportunity to perform on that floor and do what we need to do and get things done. But yeah.
That's golden. Thank you, Mr. Julius.
Thank you, guys. And like I said, I look forward to working with each one of you and other guys for you, gentlemen. We can try to get this going more. Hey, better for us.
Most definitely. This has been a Black Man Sketch. This is your host, Wes.
Julio Ortiz Labrador.
Sensae the Wella.
Julio Yancey.
Thank you for listening. Have a good night.